The massive holographic display in Earth's United Defense Command Center cast an eerie blue glow across Admiral Sarah Chen's face as she studied the approaching Zalarian fleet. Thousands of crystalline ships, each resembling a massive diamond shard, filled the screen. They had emerged from hyperspace just beyond Mars's orbit, their formation perfect and threatening. "They're hailing us again, Admiral," Lieutenant Park reported, his fingers dancing across the neural interface. "Same message as before." Chen straightened her midnight blue uniform, brushing off invisible dust. After 15 years of serving as Earth's military commander, she had expected this day would come. The Zalarians, self-proclaimed guardians of galactic peace, had finally decided humanity was too unpredictable to remain independent. "Put them through," she ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. The holographic display shifted, revealing High Commander Vexthor of the Zalarian Empire. His crystalline skin refracted light in mesmerizing patterns, but his four eyes held no warmth. "Admiral Chen, your response time is running out. The Galactic Security Council has deemed humanity a potential threat to cosmic stability. Submit to Zalarian protection or face immediate pacification." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "High Commander, we've reviewed your demands. Earth respectfully declines to surrender its sovereignty." Vexthor's crystalline features hardened. "You misunderstand, Admiral. This is not a negotiation. Your species' rapid technological advancement and unpredictable nature make you too dangerous to remain ungoverned. We've studied your history, endless wars, constant conflict. The Council has decided." "And yet," Chen replied, "you never bothered to understand why we survived those conflicts. Why we kept advancing." She pressed a hidden button beneath her command console, sending a quantum-encrypted signal to bases across the solar system. "Your primitive weapons cannot harm our ships," Vexthor declared. "Our shields are impenetrable. Our technology is centuries beyond yours. This is your final warning." Chen glanced at her neural display, confirming the signal had been received. "High Commander, you made 3 critical mistakes. First, you assumed we showed you all our technology. Second, you thought our history of conflict made us dangerous. But your biggest mistake?" She paused, allowing herself a moment of satisfaction. "You threatened our home." Vexthor's expression shifted slightly, showing the first hint of uncertainty. "Explain. Those wars you mentioned? They taught us something your species never learned. Peace isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about being so well prepared that no one dares to start one." Chen nodded to Lieutenant Park, who activated another console. Across the solar system, hidden installations hummed to life. Quantum satellites, cloaked from Zalarian sensors, powered up. Bases beneath the surfaces of Mars, Europa, and Titan awakened. Humanity had spent the last 50 years preparing for this possibility. "Impossible," Vexthor whispered as new readings appeared on his screens. "These energy signatures, they can't be." "We knew someone like you would come eventually," Chen explained. "Every time you shared technology, we improved it. Every time you demonstrated your shields, we found ways through them. We didn't spend the last 5 decades just advancing. We spent it preparing." The first wave of Earth's hidden fleet emerged from quantum space, their hulls covered in patterns that made Zalarian sensors glitch. These weren't the primitive ships humanity had shown the galaxy. These were the products of reverse-engineered alien tech combined with human ingenuity and paranoia. "This is your chance, High Commander," Chen offered. "Return to your council. Tell them humanity isn't a species to be governed, we're a people to be allied with. We don't want war, but we've spent our entire history preparing for it." Vexthor's crystalline face showed a complex mix of emotions. "The council, they don't know about these capabilities." "No," Chen agreed. "Because unlike you, we learned that sometimes the best defense is the one your opponent never sees coming. Your empire spans galaxies, High Commander. Ours is just one solar system. Ask yourself, what kind of species could survive alone in space, surrounded by empires, and still have secrets like these?" The implications hung in space between them. Humanity hadn't just been advancing, they'd been quietly preparing for the day someone would try to subjugate them. Every piece of alien technology shared had been studied, improved, and hidden away. Every diplomatic meeting had been a chance to learn weaknesses. Every demonstration of alien superiority had been an opportunity to find countermeasures. As more of Earth's true fleet revealed itself, Vexthor faced a decision that would reshape galactic politics. The species they had dismissed as primitive had been silently building a defense that could challenge the mighty Zalarian Empire. "You have 1 hour to withdraw your forces," Chin stated firmly. "After that, we'll demonstrate exactly why humanity's history of survival makes us not just dangerous, but unstoppable when defending our home." The transmission ended, leaving the command center in tense silence. Lieutenant Park looked at his admiral with newfound appreciation. "Do you think they'll withdraw?" Chin watched the Zalarian ships on the display, already noting signs of confusion in their perfect formation. "They'll have to. Because now they face the one thing their empire has never encountered, a species that planned for defeat before it ever came." The next hour would determine whether humanity would face its first interstellar war. But as Chin watched her forces take position, she knew one thing was certain. The galaxy was about to learn why humans had survived everything their own world had thrown at them. They were about to learn what happened when you cornered a species that had turned preparation into an art form. Deep beneath the Mariana Trench, in a facility known only to a handful of humans, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched holographic displays showing the Zalarian fleet's every move. The quantum computing core that powered Earth's hidden defense network hummed around her, its crystalline matrices glowing with contained power. "They're scanning for weaknesses in our quantum grid," she reported, her eyes tracking energy patterns that would have been incomprehensible to their alien observers. Just as predicted, General Michael Okaro, commander of Earth's subsea operations, stood beside her. His dark skin reflected the blue light of the holographic displays. "Are they finding what we want them to find?" Elena smiled. "Every single false vulnerability we planted. They think they're discovering our weak points. Instead, they're following a trail we laid 50 years ago." Above them, the Zalarian fleet had split into tactical groups, their crystalline ships moving with precision that would have been intimidating if it wasn't so predictable. Their hour was almost up, and High Commander Vexthor had yet to respond to Admiral Chen's ultimatum. "Show me the Titan base readings," Okoro requested. Another hologram sprang to life, showing the massive installation buried beneath the moon's icy surface. What the Zalarians saw as a small research outpost was actually humanity's largest shipyard, where vessels incorporating reverse-engineered alien tech had been built in secret for decades. "Quantum signatures are masked," Elena confirmed. "They have no idea we've been building ships inside Titan's core." The electromagnetic interference from Saturn's rings provides perfect cover. A new alert flashed across their displays. The Zalarian fleet was moving, but not in retreat. They were taking up attack positions. "They're calling our bluff," Okoro observed, his voice calm. Time to show them it wasn't a bluff at all. Elena's fingers danced across her neural interface. Activating Phase 2 defense protocols. Quantum entanglement grid coming online. Across the solar system, hidden transmitters activated. The technology was based on a seemingly failed experiment humanity had shown the Zalarians years ago. They had dismissed it as primitive, never realizing Earth's scientists had already solved the problems that made it fail. "Sir," a young technician called out, "we're detecting energy builds in their main fleet. They're charging weapons." Okoro opened a direct channel to Admiral Chin. "They've made their choice, Admiral." "Permission to activate the grid?" Chen's voice came through, clear and determined. "Execute Phase 2. Let's show them why you don't corner a species that turned paranoia into an art form." Elena initiated the sequence she had spent 20 years perfecting. The quantum entanglement grid, a network of interconnected fields that could redirect energy across vast distances, sprang to life. To the Zalarian sensors, it would appear as random energy fluctuations, a sign of primitive human attempts at defense. The first Zalarian ships fired, their energy weapons lancing out toward Earth's revealed fleet. But instead of impacting shields or hulls, the energy simply disappeared. "Grid functioning perfectly," Elena reported, watching as the quantum network absorbed and redistributed the attacks. transferring captured energy to our power reserves. On her screens, she could see the confusion spreading through the Zalarian fleet. Their most powerful weapons were having no effect, and they couldn't understand why. What they didn't know was that every shot they fired was actually making Earth's defenses stronger. They're trying to adapt, Elena noted, watching the Zalarian ships modify their weapon frequencies. Exactly as the simulations predicted. General, shall we show them why that won't help? Okaro nodded. Demonstrate our point, Doctor. Elena activated the grid's secondary function. All the energy the Zalarians had fired, all the power they had expended trying to break through Earth's defenses, was about to be returned, with improvements. The quantum grid pulsed. Concentrated beams of the Zalarians' own energy, modified and enhanced by human ingenuity, lanced out from seemingly empty space. The crystalline ship's shields, designed to resist any known weapon, offered no protection against their own enhanced energy. Multiple Zalarian vessels reporting system failures, the technician announced. Their shields are adapting, but each adaptation is less effective than the last. Send the message, Okoro commanded. Elena transmitted the carefully prepared data burst to the Zalarian fleet. It contained the complete specifications of the quantum grid, proof that humanity had not only prepared for this confrontation, but had built their defenses specifically to counter Zalarian technology. Message received by their command ship, Elena confirmed. They're powering down weapons. A new transmission came through from Admiral Chen's command center. High Commander Vexthor's crystalline face showed something humans had never seen before, respect tinged with fear. How long? He demanded. How long have you been preparing for this specific confrontation? Since the day we first saw your ships, Chen replied. We knew eventually you'd decide we were too dangerous to leave alone. So we let you think you knew all our capabilities. We showed you experiments that didn't quite work, technologies that weren't quite perfect. And all the while, we were building this. The quantum grid shimmered, briefly becoming visible to Zalarian sensors. It encompassed the entire solar system in a web of interconnected energy fields, each strand capable of redirecting and enhancing any attack back at its source. You haven't even seen our real fleet yet, Chen added. The ships we revealed? They're just the ones we wanted you to see. Stand down, High Commander. Return to your council. Tell them humanity isn't a threat to galactic peace, we're its newest guardian. The Zalarian fleet began to withdraw, their perfect formation now ragged with damaged ships. But as they retreated, Elena noticed something interesting in their energy signatures. They're scared, she told Okaro. Not just of our technology, but of what it represents. They're finally realizing that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our ships or our quantum grid. No, Okaro agreed. It's the fact that we spent 50 years preparing for a war we hoped would never come. And now they have to wonder, what else have we prepared for? As the Zalarian ships disappeared into hyperspace, Elena began compiling data for the next phase. Because humanity hadn't just prepared for this battle, they had prepared for every possible outcome. The real question was, what would the Galactic Security Council do when they realized their enforcers had been outmaneuvered by a species they had dismissed as primitive? The answer would come soon enough. But for now, Earth had demonstrated why you should never underestimate a species that had survived its own violent history by always being ready for the worst. The Galactic Security Council's emergency chamber buzzed with tension. Representatives from 1,000 species filled the crystalline amphitheater, their voices a chorus of different languages as they debated the unprecedented situation. At the center of it all stood High Commander Vexthor, his usually pristine crystalline form showing stress fractures from recent events. Impossible. The Drachnid representative's scales rattled with agitation. You mean to tell us that humans, a species barely 2 centuries into space travel, defeated our most advanced fleet? Before Vexthor could respond, the massive doors of the chamber burst open. Admiral Chen strode in, flanked by Dr. Rodriguez and General Okaro. The council chamber fell silent, thousands of alien eyes focusing on the human delegation. Not defeated, Chen corrected, her voice carrying across the chamber. We demonstrated why attacking us would be unwise. There's a difference. Council leader Zarel, A being of pure energy contained within an environmental suit, floated down from the high podium. Admiral Chin, you have no authority to enter these chambers. Earth is not a member of the Security Council. Perhaps, Chin replied, activating a holographic projector. That should change. The image that appeared showed Earth's quantum defense grid, now fully visible. Especially since we've just proved we can defend our entire solar system against your strongest fleet. Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward, her neural interface projecting additional data. We've spent decades studying every piece of technology you shared with us. Every time you demonstrated your superiority, we were learning, adapting, improving. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Species that had dismissed humanity as primitive now faced evidence that humans had not only matched, but in some ways surpassed their technology. Order. Zarel's voice boomed through the chamber. Admiral Chen, are you threatening this council? No, Chen smiled. We're applying for membership, but not as a subordinate species to be controlled. As equals. General Okoro activated his own projector, showing the locations of Earth's hidden bases throughout the solar system. We could have kept our capabilities secret. Could have waited until someone actually attacked us. Instead, we're choosing to be transparent now. The Drachnid representative leaned forward. Why? Why reveal everything after proving you could defeat us? Because, Chin explained, humanity has learned something in our violent history that your species seem to have forgotten. True peace doesn't come from dominance. It comes from mutual respect and understanding. Dr. Rodriguez brought up new data showing the improvements humanity had made to various alien technologies. We're offering to share our innovations. Our quantum grid technology alone could revolutionize planetary defense across the galaxy. The chamber grew quiet as the implications sank in. Humanity wasn't just defending itself, it was offering to help protect others. There's more, Chun continued. Our sensors detected something during the confrontation with the Zalarian fleet. Energy signatures that don't match any known species. She nodded to Rodriguez, who projected a new set of readings. Something is coming. Something that hasn't revealed itself yet. And we think Earth's history of preparing for worst-case scenarios might be exactly what this galaxy needs. Zarel's energy form flickered with interest. You're suggesting an alliance? We're suggesting a new approach to galactic security, Chun corrected. One where we combine your experience with our paranoia. Where we take your technology and our tendency to prepare for everything and create something better. General Okoro stepped forward. The Zalarian fleet found out what happens when you threaten Earth. But they also discovered something else. Humans don't just fight well. We plan well. And right now, we're planning for threats that haven't even shown themselves yet. The council chamber buzzed with discussion. Species that had looked down on humanity were suddenly seeing them in a new light. A species that had not only prepared for an attack, but had done so in ways no one had anticipated. Consider this, Chen addressed the chamber. You thought our history of conflict made us dangerous. But it actually made us cautious. Prepared. We don't want war. We've seen too much of it. What we want is to be ready for anything. And right now, the galaxy needs that mindset. Zarel descended to their level. You've given us much to consider, Admiral. But you must understand, this changes everything. The balance of power, the structure of the council itself. Good, Chen replied firmly. Because the old structure was built on dominance. We're proposing one built on cooperation. You've seen what humanity can do when threatened. Imagine what we could accomplish as allies. As the council debated, Dr. Rodriguez's neural interface picked up new readings. The strange energy signatures were growing stronger. Humanity's revelation of their true capabilities hadn't come a moment too soon. Because somewhere out there, something was watching. Something that had been waiting, testing, observing. And humanity's demonstration of power had just changed its plans. The galaxy was about to discover why having a species that planned for everything might be exactly what they needed to survive what was coming. The warning came 3 days after Earth's presentation to the Galactic Security Council. Dr. Rodriguez was analyzing quantum field fluctuations when her neural interface lit up with urgent alerts. Across her lab's holographic displays, energy signatures unlike anything she'd ever seen bloomed like dark flowers. Admiral Chin, she called through the quantum comm, "They're here." The massive vessels appeared simultaneously across the galaxy, emerging from what appeared to be tears in space itself. They dwarfed even the largest Solarian ships, their hulls seeming to absorb both light and sensor scans. The Galactic Security Council's emergency channels erupted with panic as reports flooded in from 100 worlds. "What are we looking at, Doctor?" Chen's voice was calm despite the situation. Rodriguez's fingers danced through holographic data. "They're using some form of phase shift technology, but far more advanced than anything we've seen. Their ships exist partially outside normal spacetime." Just like we predicted, General Okoro added, joining the quantum conference. "The energy signatures match the anomalies we've been tracking for the past decade." The first attacks came without warning or demands. Council worlds went dark one by one, their quantum communications falling silent. The mighty Zalarian fleet, still recovering from their encounter with Earth, found their weapons passing harmlessly through the phase-shifted vessels. But Earth was ready. "Activate Protocol Omega," Chen commanded. "Show them why we built the quantum grid to do more than just defend our solar system." Across Earth's territory, hidden installations hummed to life. The quantum grid, which had so recently repelled the Zalarian fleet, began to pulse with new energy patterns. Dr. Rodriguez's decades of research were about to be put to the ultimate test. "Quantum resonance fields active," she reported. "The grid is adapting to their phase variance." Just like we designed it to. The invaders had expected another primitive defense system. What they found was something else entirely. Earth's quantum grid didn't just defend, it learned, adapted, and evolved. Every attack they launched taught the system more about their technology. "They're approaching Jupiter's orbit," Okoro announced. "First contact in 3 minutes." Chin opened a channel to all Earth forces. "This is what we've been preparing for." Everything we showed the Council was just the surface. Now we show them why humanity's paranoia might save the galaxy. The first alien vessel attacked, launching what appeared to be streams of dark energy at Earth's defenses. The quantum grid captured the attack, analyzed it, and within seconds had adapted its own phase variance to match. "Send the signal to the Council," Chin ordered. "Tell them to fall back to the coordinates we provided. Let them see what humanity can really do." What followed was unlike any battle the galaxy had witnessed. The invaders found their phase shift technology, which had rendered them invulnerable to conventional weapons, being matched and countered by Earth's defenses. Each attack they launched was absorbed, analyzed, and turned against them. "Their phase variance is destabilizing," Rodriguez reported, watching as the quantum grid forced the massive ships to fully materialize in normal space. Transferring attack protocols to all Council forces. The Council ships that had retreated to Earth's coordinates watched in amazement as humanity shared their adapted defense protocols in real time. Ships that had been helpless against the invaders suddenly found themselves able to fight back. "This is why we prepare," Chen's voice carried across all channels. "This is why we look at every piece of technology and ask, what if it's used against us? This is why we built defenses for attacks we'd never seen." The invaders, faced with resistance they hadn't expected, began to retreat. But Earth wasn't finished. The quantum grid pulsed one final time, sending out a wave of energy that locked the phase-shifted ships in normal space. "All ships, switch to attack pattern Delta," Okoro commanded. "Show them why you don't attack a species that spends its free time imagining worst-case scenarios." Earth's true fleet emerged from quantum space, ships that made the ones they'd revealed to the Zalarians look primitive by comparison. These vessels incorporated every lesson humanity had learned, every technology they'd improved, every defense they'd developed. "Signal from the Council," Rodriguez announced. They're asking for our help. All of them. Even the Zalarians." Chin smiled. "Tell them help is already on the way. And remind them, this is why you don't dismiss a species just because they're young. Sometimes the new kids have the best ideas." As Earth's fleet engaged the trapped invaders, the galaxy witnessed something unprecedented, a young species leading the defense of not just their world, but all worlds. Because while others had built their empires on dominance, humanity had built theirs on preparation. And somewhere in the chaos of battle, the galaxy's older species began to understand. Perhaps humanity's greatest gift wasn't their technology or their fighting skills. It was their constant, relentless drive to be ready for anything. The captured alien vessel hung in high orbit above Earth, its dark hull now visible to normal sensors after being locked in phase by the quantum grid. Dr. Rodriguez led the first boarding team, her neural interface scanning everything as they moved through corridors that seemed to defy normal geometry. "These readings are impossible," she muttered, watching data stream across her vision. "Their technology isn't just advanced, it's fundamentally different from anything we've encountered." Admiral Chen's voice came through the quantum comm. "Different how, Doctor?" "It's like they evolved in another dimension entirely," Rodriguez replied, approaching what appeared to be the ship's central core. "They weren't just phase-shifting their ships. They were trying to phase-shift our entire reality." The boarding team reached the core chamber, where crystalline structures pulsed with dark energy. General Okoro's teams had already secured the area, their weapons trained on the few surviving crew members, beings that seemed to flicker between different states of existence. "Admiral," Okoro called out, "you need to see what we found in their data core." The holographic displays came to life, showing star maps and battle plans that spanned not just the galaxy, but multiple dimensions. The truth began to emerge. These weren't simply invaders, they were harvesters of realities, moving from dimension to dimension, consuming entire universes. "They've done this before," Rodriguez realized, analyzing the data. "Countless times. They find a reality, phase-shift it out of normal space, and absorb it somehow. They feed on the energy of entire universes." Chen's hologram appeared in the chamber. "And they couldn't phase-shift our reality because of the quantum grid?" "Not just that," Rodriguez pointed to new data streaming across the displays. "They couldn't do it because we were ready for something like this. Every time they tried to alter our phase state, the grid adapted. We weren't just fighting them, we were evolving faster than they could attack." The captured aliens watched silently as humanity pieced together their plans. Their multiple eyes shifted through different spectrums, studying their captors with what might have been curiosity. "There's more," Okoro added, bringing up new holographic data. "They've been watching us for centuries. They saw our wars, our conflicts, but they misunderstood what they were seeing." Rodriguez nodded, understanding dawning. "They thought our constant preparation for threats made us vulnerable. Instead, Chen finished, it made us the first species they've encountered that was actually ready for them. The first ones who looked at the impossible and said, 'How do we defend against that?'" One of the alien beings finally spoke, its voice translating through multiple dimensions at once. "You were supposed to be easy. Young. Primitive. How did you know to prepare for us?" Chen approached the creature, her hologram steady. "We didn't. We prepared for everything. Every possibility, every scenario, every threat we could imagine, and quite a few we couldn't. That's what you didn't understand about us." The alien flickered. "The others, they built their defenses against known threats. We built ours against unknown ones," Rodriguez completed. "Because that's what humanity does. We look into the dark and ask, what's out there? And then we prepare for the answer." The data cores revealed the full scope of their plans. Hundreds of realities had already fallen, consumed by these dimensional harvesters. Earth's reality was supposed to be just another easy target. "Signal from the Council," Okoro reported. "They're requesting access to our quantum grid technology. All of them. They're finally realizing. That defense isn't just about stopping known threats," Chen nodded. "It's about being ready for the ones you can't even imagine." Rodriguez's neural interface pinged with new data. The quantum grid was still evolving, learning from the harvester's technology. "Admiral, I think we can do more than just defend against them. I think we can find the realities they've consumed. Maybe even restore them." The captured aliens showed their first sign of fear. "Impossible. What's consumed cannot be restored." Chin smiled. "You keep using that word. But you're dealing with a species that looks at the impossible and sees a challenge." Dr. Rodriguez, begin the calculations. General Okaro, secure their data cores. It's time to show the galaxy why humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. What is it then? One of the aliens asked. Our refusal to accept limitations, Chin replied. Our drive to not just survive threats, but to understand them. And most importantly, our determination to protect not just ourselves, but everyone else too. As the boarding team began their work, signals came in from across the galaxy. Other harvester ships were retreating, their phase shift technology neutralized by rapidly spreading quantum grid adaptations. But this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. Humanity had emerged as more than just another species in the galactic community. They had become its guardians, not through force or dominance, but through their relentless drive to be ready for anything. 1 year after the Harvester incident, Earth's Quantum Defense Command Center hosted an unprecedented gathering. Representatives from every council species crowded the massive chamber, their diverse forms illuminated by the soft glow of holographic displays showing the restored realities, dimensions once thought lost forever. Admiral Chin stood at the central platform, Dr. Rodriguez and General Okoro beside her, facing an audience that had once dismissed humanity as primitive, but now looked to them for guidance. The last of the displaced civilizations has been restored, Rodriguez announced, her neural interface projecting the data for all to see. Using the Harvester's own technology, combined with our quantum grid, we've successfully reversed the dimensional collapse in all affected realities. The chamber erupted in multilingual cheers. Species that had once been bitter rivals now stood united, their differences forgotten in the face of what humanity had achieved. But that's not why we've gathered you here today, Chin continued, her voice cutting through the celebration. What we discovered in the Harvester's data cores goes beyond the threat they posed. They weren't the first to evolve this capability, and they won't be the last. General Okoro activated a new holographic display, showing the vast network of quantum grids now protecting multiple galaxies. This is why we're proposing the formation of the Multiversal Defense Initiative. Not just to protect our reality, but all realities. The Zalarian High Commander, now one of Earth's strongest allies, stepped forward. You're suggesting we adopt humanity's approach to defense? Always preparing for the unknown. We're suggesting more than that, Rodriguez replied, bringing up new schematics. We're offering to teach you how we think, how we prepare, why we look at every piece of technology and ask not just, how does it work, but what if it's used against us? Chin gestured to the massive quantum computing cores that lined the chamber walls. The Harvesters thought our paranoia was a weakness. They saw our constant preparation for threats as a sign of fear. What they didn't understand was that preparing for the worst doesn't make you fearful, it makes you ready. The holographic displays shifted, showing the new defense systems being implemented across the galaxy. Systems that combine the best of alien technology with humanity's unique approach to security. We're not just offering protection, Okoro explained. We're offering a new way of thinking. A way that doesn't just react to threats, it anticipates them, prepares for them, turns them into opportunities for advancement. A Drachnid representative raised their scaled head. And what do you want in return? Chin smiled. Partnership. Real partnership. Not the kind based on dominance or fear, but on mutual respect and shared purpose. Because what we learned from the Harvesters isn't just about defense, it's about unity. Rodriguez brought up the final displays, showing the network of quantum connections now linking every council world. These links don't just share data or energy. They share knowledge, experience, perspectives. Every species contributing their unique strengths to protect all realities. The Harvesters thought they were invincible, Chen continued. They'd consumed countless realities, faced countless species. But they'd never encountered one that looked at the impossible and said, we need to be ready for that. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't just saved the galaxy, they'd revolutionized how it thought about defense, about preparation, about cooperation. This is the dawn of a new era, Chun declared. One where we don't just react to threats, we prevent them. Where we don't just survive challenges, we learn from them. And most importantly, where we stand together, ready for whatever the multiverse throws at us next. As the council members voted unanimously to accept Earth's proposal, something unprecedented happened. The quantum grid, now spanning multiple galaxies, pulsed with a new kind of energy. It wasn't just a defense network anymore, it had become a symbol of unity, of preparation, of hope. Because humanity had proven something remarkable, sometimes the best guardians aren't the strongest or the most advanced. Sometimes they're the ones who never stop preparing, never stop improving, and never stop believing in the power of being ready for anything. The galaxy had changed, and at its heart stood humanity, not as conquerors or rulers, but as teachers, guardians, and proof that the best defense isn't just about technology or weapons. It's about the willingness to look into the unknown and say, whatever's out there, we'll be ready.